Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cardiac Family Channel. Today on the eve of the World Heart Day, we are going to have a discussion on the epidemic of the world's #1 killer disease called the cardiovascular disease that causes heart attack and high blood pressure. This will be a series, and this is the first in the series, and you will be witnessing many more as time goes by. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, this is Dr. Avinash Inamdar. I am a cardiac surgeon and with more than 35 years of experience in this field. And on my right side you can see Dr. Sanjivani, my better half. She is a cardiovascular anesthesiologist, a cardiac intensivist, and a cardiac Echo-Cardiologist. Yes. And in front of me you can see the chip of the old block, our daughter, Dr. Sonali Inamdar, who is an interventional cardiologist. Today we are going to discuss, to begin with various causes and in short the treatment about how to tackle these causes that lead to cardiovascular disease. So Sonali, what do you think is the first, foremost and the most important cause today that is leading to cardiovascular disease? Especially in the last 15 years, things are changing and the prevalence of this disease is rising exponentially.
Yeah.
You see, in the urban population, the prevalence is around 6% to 13.2%, whereas in the rural population, it is somewhere between 3 to 7.4%. That is the statistics. So if you pull all together, it's roughly about 10%. So no wonder India is becoming the world capital of heart disease, as also becoming world capital of diabetes and other diseases as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think could be attributed as the first important cause today?
Well, lately, because of such a boom in technology, I think a lot of screen time, and because of that, the sedentary lifestyle, both of them go hand in hand in such a big boom in the number of cases of blockages happening in young patients.
Yes, I remember you recently did an angioplasty on a very young person who was just 30, IT professional with about 30 years of age, isn't it? Yeah. Screen time is really a big problem. And the internet cost in this country is very, very low. In fact, India has the lowest cost of internet, as a result of which, everyone, all the youngsters are with the screen. It could be a laptop, it could be a computer, it could be a television, it could be a mobile, or also you have a lot of these cordless devices, and they all affect the human system. And what I know is this high screen time gives rise to non-ionizing radiations in a large quantity. It's a duration of non-ionizing radiation is more important, and that causes certain changes in the biochemistry of the body. Like it creates a lot of oxygen-free radicals, and these oxygen-free radicals cause dyslipidemia.
Yes.
You have bad cholesterol going up, good cholesterol going up, there is a distortion, and all these factors, they lead to endothelial dysfunction, leading to hypertension and high blood pressure, hypertension and coronary artery disease. Yeah. And as you rightly said, along with excess screen time, you also have sedentary lifestyle. See.
Yeah.
So to overcome this high screen time or the deleterious effects of high screen time, there are certain ways to tackle it.
Right.
You see, what I do is, I would do pranayam every 1 hour of screen time.
But I agree, but is it really possible? Because I've seen her, like for example, during the pandemic, mom was attending so many webinars and everything virtually. And all of our meetings were virtual. It was sometimes not possible for her to get up and take breaks.
No, you need not get up. You can be sitting there, but yet you can do some anulom vilom, you can do some Brahmari, the certain types of pranayama can easily, or a Kapalbhati.
We would tell
Yes.
this in the next
Yes,
series.
we'll be
Yeah,
discussing
we'll
in
be
the
Because
next
we
series.
will
Yeah,
today
yeah.
only discuss causes,
Causes,
yeah.
and then this channel is going to go
Yes.
forever.
Yes,
And
yes, you're
we
right.
would
Yeah, there are
certainly
many.
brief you
Yeah, just a few tips
with
now.
recent
Yeah.
preventive measures and treatment and how to deal with it.
Just a simple thing
Everyone
is-
needs, a small child also is addicted to screen, and he
Yeah.
doesn't eat if the screen is not in front of
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And parents ultimately give the screen because otherwise he wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
So
See,
we would
there are-
discuss
in
these
fact,
things
you
later
have a
on.
mandatory screen time and you have an optional one,
Right.
like the entertainment. So you have to cut down on watching televisions,
That
watching
we will come
mobile,
later
yes.
on.
And one simple thing that I would like to tell the audience is you should have lot of lemon with water and keep well hydration, good hydration. So every hour I go on having lemon water. It is a very strong antioxidants which are there in lemon,
Right.
which helps a lot to overcome these oxygen-free radicals which are being created inside the body. So
Right.
that's the simple tip. There are various methodologies
Yeah.
to overcome the bad effects of high screen time, and
Right.
we'll be coming to it very soon as we
Yeah.
go on. Okay, the
Going
second
to the next
point is
one is smoking. Of course, that is the number one killer.
Yes,
That
yes.
is, we cannot ignore smoking at all.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
seen so many. You've seen so many patients in your echo lab
Yes,
who've,
yes.
who've confessed to you. They don't
Yes.
confess to us in the clinic sometimes, but when she does the echocardiogram, they finally confess and say, yes, I've been
Yes,
a
yes.
smoker or a tobacco chewer, and
Yes,
India
yes.
is the largest consumer
Yes.
of
Absolutely.
tobacco and its
Tobacco.
various products.
Absolutely right.
And people start as early as their school,
Yes.
third standard, second standard
Yes,
kids
yes,
are
yes.
beginning with it.
And
isn't it?
another important point is about passive smoking.
Passive,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
That
yes,
is
that's a very good
very
point. Very good point. Yes.
more risky than
Yeah, yeah,
smoking
yeah,
itself.
Yeah.
In fact,
So
it has been
the-
found that the passive smokers have more of endothelial dysfunction happening suddenly, because if you are exposed to a crowd, you
Right.
go to a pub and there is a lot of smoke, and then you are exposed for a longer time, that also is very
That
hazardous.
is very important.
You see, that is true. And then exercise,
Yeah.
sedentary lifestyle.
So
Absolutely.
sitting is the new smoking.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes,
So-
sitting is the
Absolutely
new
right,
smoking.
absolutely
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And we've felt those effects ourselves. If we've sat for hours and hours together, it makes us feel dull, and,
Yes,
and
yes.
plus you're sitting in front of the screen. So
Yes,
these
yes.
things have contributed tremendously to our youth becoming
Yeah.
old in terms of their vascular ages. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
You do find all the grounds empty most of the places.
Correct, yeah.
The number of people going for swimming are just scanty. When I go in the morning for
Yeah.
swimming, I hardly find people coming there.
That's
So see, that's
And
and when
when,
it comes to exercise, you know what people think. Well, I do lot of weights, yet I got a heart attack. Someone comes and tell me I do pranayam every day. 4 hours I do pranayam, or I do yogasana every day, but still I get heart attack. That is not important. What is most important is a particular sequence and various components of exercise which you should be having it in your daily life. Like for example, you start with warming up,
Okay.
followed by stretching, either active or passive, then followed by aerobics.
Treatment we would be
And
discussing
but just
later
an
on.
outline of that. And the aerobics, you should either do a LIS or a HIT depending upon your ejection fraction, which should be done
That
at
we
least
will-
5 to
we
6
will-
days in a week.
Treatment we will
Followed
tell
by-
later on.
Yeah, we'll do. And then followed by yoga 2 or 3 times in a week, and pranayam every day, and every day shavasana and yoga nidra.
Right.
What I would
This
like to
particular part,
lead this discussion to when people are in front of screen
Right.
or having sedentary life, and then they are not exercising, and obviously they are not able to face the stress of the life
Right.
because they are not exercising. There is no endorphin, there is no
Yeah.
power in them
Yeah, yeah.
to face the stressful life of
Yes, absolutely.
21st century, which is tremendous. So they are not able to face that, and so they succumb to this stress very easily. So not exercising and having tremendous stress is a very bad situation.
Yeah,
Bad
so
combination.
stress is the next factor
Yeah,
basically, which is
their
contributing.
amount of feel good factor
Right.
is so low
Yeah.
that most of them who do not exercise, they are always morose, depressed, and they are not active.
Because they are not liberating any endorphin, which comes free to you after exercise.
That's true. That's true.
Then comes, of course, sleep. Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. In fact, I was reading the other day, there was a podcast that I was listening to. They said that less sleep during your lifetime contributes obviously to heart blockages and heart attacks in the future, but it also has a bad effect on your memory in the future. You can get dementia. Less sleep is something which is really, really bad, and we have to.
So what is the use of living long without any memory? That is still worst.
Exactly. So it's become a causal factor is what is being proposed. Ki less sleep could either be a causal factor or it could be one of the first markers of dementia in future life. So not just your heart blockages, but even your quality of life in the future can get affected.
There are certain hormones that are liberated, and the peak of those hormones, which is the hormone that is liberated during sleep.
You mean melatonin?
Melatonin, yes. Right. And the peak levels of natural melatonin comes between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And that is the time you must sleep. That is very important.
Sleep at that point.
And this melatonin, instead of taking artificial melatonin, which is becoming very popular nowadays.
Which has become a big fad nowadays, and it's crazy because I don't know if that is the right way to go. We need more expert opinions for that.
So many patients come with history that they are taking melatonin. Which is a very...
Natural melatonin prevents endothelial dysfunction, prevents diabetes, prevents cancer, prevents lot of lifestyle disorders, including dementia, Alzheimer's, and so many things. Minimum time of sleep should be 7 hours.
Correct.
See, with a natural, if you are having a very deep sleep, maybe 6 hours or 5 hours should be all right. But then you should also do yoga nidra for 20 minutes every day. So that will compensate.
We'll talk about Yoga Nidra in detail later, but that's really important because it really freshens you up and recharges you, sort of like how you charge your battery of your phone. That's how we charge ourselves.
I think it gives tremendous rest to all the cells in the body.
And we don't realize we need rest. Only when we go through that pattern of that entire process, that's when we realize,
And this is the gift which our Indian ancestors have given to us, and we should be grateful to them.
Absolutely.
Then of course comes diet. Senseless diet.
Yes.
People are not aware of the importance of diet. And when it comes to diet, it has to be very perfect. A very healthy diet. Avoid all fast food, processed food, stale food, refrigerated food, which has no energy. The chi energy is lost.
Right.
Then comes about, you should have a heavy breakfast. Half of breakfast should be your lunch and half of lunch should be your dinner.
Yes.
These are very important.
And I think it is other way around today.
Exactly.
And about this diet, diet is medicine actually.
Yes, diet
it's a medicine.
Yes, healthy diet can replace medicine.
It will be medicine.
Yes, that is a famous proverb. Yes. But, you rightly said.
But then what would you say? Do you think keto diet, intermittent fasting, there's so many things which are on the anvil.
We'll be discussing them as we go on in detail one after another. But if your diet is right, you don't need medicines. And if your diet is wrong, then even medicines will not act.
Yes.
So that is very important.
That's
the importance
a very good
of
thing.
Good healthy diet. Then of course, what else? In diet, coming to it, sweets. Sugars.
Sweets.
Wow, that's the big problem. You see, the consumption of carbohydrates in our country
is
enormous compared to the Western population. You see.
On that note, sugar and salt also. I'd just like to interject with that because
very
we
rightly.
take 2 times the amount of salt. We've been advised to take 5 grams. We take 11 grams. So sugar and salt.
70% of our diet carbohydrates.
Right.
10% proteins, 20% fat. So you got to cut down carbohydrates.
So no wonder our country is the having epidemic of diabetes.
Right. Oh yes, we are.
We are number 1 in diabetes all over the world.
Sugar,
and it's undetected in so many patients.
Yes, it is not. They don't know that they are diabetic.
Or they are in denial.
Or they are in denial. Yes.
If you don't control your sugar levels, you are going to have endothelial dysfunction. You are going to have small vessel disease.
That we will discuss later on, isn't it?
Coronary artery disease as well. Then of course, Genetic factor, yes, very important.
That is
carry
something
a
which
gene,
you're born with.
and if you're carrying a gene for heart disease, hereditary factor, then of course you got to be very much careful. You got to evaluate yourself very well. You must know your numbers right, and then work on it. And you have to be really very serious, especially if your father has got a heart disease, mother has a heart disease, there is a family history of heart disease with sudden deaths. Well, you got to be very, very
You have to be
careful
proactive in
and
this
work on
place.
it
Yeah, in
tremendously.
this instance, yeah.
Prevention
So-
plays a very major role in this genetic. So we always ask patients whether his father, mother, or anyone, any relative is having any problem related to heart.
Yeah.
So that, and then many of them obviously they come to us because their ancestors are having some problem. They had some problem of ischemic heart disease, and so naturally it is very well known.
Yes.
But that group of patients, they have to follow these rules very strictly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very right. Yes.
True.
There is a very common question asked by many people. Doc, can I drink alcohol? Spirits. People want spirits. People do not want spirituality.
Oh,
you see,
yes.
that is of course, some spirituality does come after excess spirits.
Excess spirit.
But what is most important is binge drinking.
Yeah. Oh, that's
See,
the worst.
binge drinking.
So how
can
would you
just
define
hurt.
binge drinking
See,
as?
you are not having alcohol, say, for 6 months, 1 year.
Okay.
And then on 31st of December, you are having a party. And then all of a sudden you have 4 packs, 5 packs, 6 packs, and you are all passed off. You have no food, you are just gone, you are vomiting, and you are getting a lot of problems the next day morning. You have not eaten well. That is binge drinking.
Right.
So this sudden consumption of lot of alcohol, ethanol, that causes a crack in the endothelium, and that is the beginning of endothelium.
So finally, all heart blockages begin with a crack in the
Crack in the
endothelium,
vein,
and endothelium is the inner lining of your blood vessel.
yeah.
So that is the concept which we've got to basically take home and make everyone aware of, because that's where it all begins and that's where it all ends.
Of course,
And
there
this
are-
endothelium is a very silkish few millimeter lining
Correct.
inside all the vessels, including coronary arteries.
Of course,
And that we don't want any breakage in that. It must be smooth
And all the
and
factors we discussed do lead to breakage in the endothelium.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of CIMT,
Yeah.
yes,
carotid intimal media
Yes,
thickness,
yes,
and then you come to know that
And you've
early
seen
disease
it
can be.
in young people also.
yes,
isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
Very young people, they are having thick intimal lining of their carotid arteries, which is a surrogate marker for coronary arteries. And it is very easily done. It is outside, so we can do it very
Yeah,
easily.
yeah.
But of course, you have to have very high-end machines for that. But it's not
It's a good technique, actually.
It's a good technique to detect or to screen the population at large. Quickly, and then put them on preventive medication.
Yes,
Now the answer to the very important question, doctor, how much whiskey can I have? You see, scientifically there are some papers which say small amount of alcohol is good, because alcohol is a vasodilator.
Right.
So they recommend 2 drinks for men and 1 drink for females. Now, what is 1 drink? 1 drink is equal to 45 ml of hard drink. Hard drink is like, could be whiskey, gin, vodka, rum, all that.
Right.
Or equivalent to 120 ml of wine,
Okay.
or 350 ml of beer.
Right.
So double of that.
Correct.
That is for the males,
Yeah.
and just
Only a single one of that
drink
for
is
women.
for the females. That is what. But I read recent research going on which says the safe amount of alcohol is only 18 ml.
Oh, God.
18, so small, because alcohol itself, there are some people in the tolerant group, some are in the intolerant group.
Right.
Like little bit of alcohol will cause their arrhythmias. They could have acid peptic disease. They could begin with a cardiomyopathy, and they would have multiple problems.
So there's no way knowing how would each person
Every
react
person
to,
will react in
to
differently.
alcohol in different
And
ways.
there is also
right.
gene that carries.
I
and
think
that can
that's why they
affect,
have come down to this level
Yeah,
of
yeah.
18.
Which
But then
Which is very-
if somebody asks you, how much should I drink? You'd probably just say zero, right?
I just that
I mean,
would be
ideally,
most
yes,
ideal,
ideally
but when
zero.
in today's 21st
Yeah.
century, people want to have something, so
Right.
just 2 drinks on a weekend, once a week should be all right.
That should
That
be
would
fine.
not be
And also
harmful.
the rate of
Yeah.
drinking, I
Yes,
believe is
yes,
important.
that's an important point. It should be not more than 30 ml in 1 hour, because
That's
that
quite
is
slow, yeah.
how much the load the liver can
Yeah.
take to metabolize the byproduct of alcohol. So the rate should be 30 ml per hour. So if you are having 2 drinks, carry it on for 4 hours.
True.
And then your body will not be you won't have the harmful effects of alcohol.
Because apart from blockages, alcohol is notorious for causing heart muscle damage
Yes,
directly,
yes,
and
yes.
it can trigger off arrhythmias,
Yeah, yeah.
which can be quite debilitating.
Of course, the quality of alcohol also matters.
Oh, right, of
the
course.
amount of aldehyde in it.
Yeah.
You have a more matured of whiskey.
And besides
then-
that, they eat all
They
Yes,
eat all the
junk
junk
food.
trans fats
All
and junk food
food
with
is
that.
there.
So the
Yeah.
whole purpose of alcohol giving you benefit on the heart is gone.
Yeah.
The whole concept of beer belly comes from the junk food.
Yes, yes, yes.
It comes from there.
Very
Yeah.
right, very right. So
Actually, to have alcohol, the main intention is to relax.
To relax and hang
So
out with
instead
your
of
friends,
that, they don't relax. They eat junk food. They fight after the alcohol, and everything is haywire. So the whole purpose has to be
and of
met
course,
with.
there is no smile, there is no laughter club. People are not laughing, people are not smiling, they are always tense.
Yeah.
So we teach the techniques of laughter in our classes, and
And
that
you
helps.
also teach them that how you should enjoy little things in
Yes,
your life. Small things give you
pleasures,
more
yeah.
Pleasure actually.
I guess all of us are very serious people. Most of us take ourselves very
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah.
So that's what leads to blockages.
What we call it
per
as
se.
chin up activities.
Okay.
Small
Yeah.
multiple chin up activities.
Ah.
will
So
go
you make a
long
good
way.
tea, you enjoy.
Yeah.
You make a anything you have done something small thing positive. You should be happy for
You should
that.
be happy.
Absolutely right. So, with these
Enjoy.
words, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and we will be continuing with our discussions in the next episodes, in the next videos. Stay tuned with us and have a healthy, hearty goodbye. Thank you.